Self-compassion when dating. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where I teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. If this is you, then you are absolutely on the right channel, and we're going to be talking about self-compassion. Today, we're going to be talking about the place it plays in us really truly elevating and becoming high value. Now, you really gotta know that we have our January sale on, so the packages we had at Christmas, I've decided to lower them some more with an extra 15% because I don't want anybody to miss out on the Black Swan goodness, the Black Swan Academy goodness. And so feel free to follow the link in the description below and make sure that you take advantage, because it's only gonna last for 10 days, and I think it's actually been on for 5 or so by the time this recording goes live. So welcome indeed to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. We actually have a self-care course that is going to be live on in the academy, and of course just follow me on Instagram and Facebook to know when the self-care and stress management course goes live. It is fantastic, and my sister was actually the person to put it together. She is an incredible trainer, absolutely incredible, and I'm really glad to have her support the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Okay, so without further ado, we shall move on and talk about self-compassion. You know, I, like most people, was very hard on myself, and I actually thought it was a noble trait, because we live in a world where nobody wants to take accountability for their actions. We live in a blame culture. We live in a place where nobody really wants to own their stuff. Okay, we live in a world where it's everybody else's fault, and as a result I became really kind of I'm not going to be that person, and I went to the extreme where everything is my fault. Now, there's a difference between knowing your part in why things went wrong, learning your lesson in why things went wrong. This is perfectly healthy, and taking responsibility for the mistakes that you made, learning from them, growing from them. This is perfectly healthy introspection, being able to really look at yourself critically and think, okay, could I have shown up better? Could I have been a better Black Swan? Could I have truly elevated to a different place without having that extra voice saying, look, you're an absolute idiot. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have done that. You sabotaged that. You just created this mess, and the reason why you're single is because you're just such a horrible human being and you won't get it together. Or going into your head and just sort of being, really hard on yourself and really feeling like, you should have left that relationship sooner. You silly cow, you wasted 10 years of your life if you just left that first year. Or, when we say to ourselves, if you had just not put yourself in that situation, you would have never been violated in that way. You knew was silly. You knew that it was the wrong time of night or day or situation for you to be. We have all of these voices sometimes that feel like you're being accountable and responsible, that feel like you're owning your stuff, but really that is the voice of the judge. This is the judge in our head, the critical parent or caregiver in our head that won't quit. Okay, they just won't quit on us, and as a result of that, we then project that onto other people. We then take that judgment, and we take that anger and that sense of you will never be right, and we project it onto the men that we are meeting and the men that we're interacting with, and we bring that judgment to the table, and we see through the lens of judgment, and the people around us start to feel judged, or we kind of secretly judge them, but we're really just judging ourselves because we have this constant inner voice. And so this is where we begin to sabotage relationships, because who wants to love such a terrible person? When you have that voice inside of your head that is always saying, you are the idiot that slept with that guy, now you got his child, and you knew from morning that he was never going to commit to you. You could tell he was a loser, but you slept with him anyway, you silly, stupid stupid girl. Now you're here and now you have to do this by yourself. Or, you know, you could tell from the beginning that he was hot and cold and on and off, and you're so idiotic, you're so stupid, you still went on a date with him. When we have that voice that keeps telling us that we're stupid, that voice is also qualifying the more sinister voice that says we are truly not lovable. We're truly not lovable. I mean, would you want to date somebody who is stupid and silly and idiotic, who makes stupid decisions and bad judgments? Would you want to date that person? Of course you wouldn't. If you knew that this person, and would that person feel worthy of the love of somebody who was kind and thoughtful and considerate and thoughtful? Do you think that person would attract that kind of energy into your lives? You will find that if you have an inner voice that is the judge, that is always pulling you down and being so mean to yourself. You know, I used to say this, nobody can be meaner to me than me. And I used to actually think it was kind of cool, because I was like, you can't hurt me. There is nothing you can say to hurt me, because I've already said it to myself 1,000,001 times. So I used to think it was some sort of protection mechanism, because I could be mean to myself, and then if you say what I already know about myself, I can brush it off, because I have become calloused in that area, because I know I'm stupid like that. I know I'm not smart like that. I know I make this kind of like, I was ready to throw myself in front of a bus at any given time, and I actually thought that was a noble thing. But you start to project that on other people, and you start to look through the lens of that to other people. But above all, like I said earlier, you start to feel unworthy of love. You start to feel like, now who's gonna love that person? And this is where the self-abandoning begins. This is where the pleasing begins. This is where the whole, if I can be what they need me to be and hide my true authentic self, because if I show up authentically, it's going to be a mess up person that's going to show up, a loser person that's going to show up, a time waster person that's going to show up, a person that is just stupid and makes stupid decisions. And I don't want them to find that out about me. So what I'm going to do is project the more beautiful, together women that any man would want. And whilst this is absolutely possible within the Black Swan Relationship Academy, it has to come from an authentic place, and it has to come from a place of complete total acceptance, because a Black Swan is not a perfect woman by any stretch of the imagination. She is truly a woman on a journey, on an evolution, a woman who owns her truth, lives to the highest possible, expression of life that she can. She's a woman that does her best all day, every day, her best. And the best for each of us is different, because we're fighting different demons, we're fighting them in different circumstances with different sets of resources. As long as she's doing her best, and she's learning and she's growing and she's showing up the best she can and increasing and growing, that makes her a Black Swan. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable. It's okay for you to make a mistake in a relationship, and it's absolutely okay for you to cling on a bit longer than you wanted to, than you knew you should have. Yes, I'm saying to you, it's okay, because you didn't do it because you're stupid. You did it because you had a need, and for as long as you held on, that need was in part or wholly being met. Maybe it was just attention. It may not have been the best attention, but your soul needed attention. Yourself, your inner self was craving attention, and you had no tools to get it in a healthy way, so you got it in an unhealthy way. This does not make you an idiot. This makes you a woman who is seeking to meet an authentic, true, and noble need. There is no shame in desiring connection with another human being. There is no shame in trying to make things work. We want to be women that resolve, not just bugger off and, slap our heels and flick our hair, because that's going to leave us very lonely. We want to be women that can resolve, that can communicate in a high value way, and seek to bring our partner to the place of understanding. So if that is what you were trying to do, you were seeking resolution, that is why you stayed a little bit longer than you should have. And yes, you picked him in that moment, not because you were desperate and needy and disgusting. You picked him because maybe you were giving him a chance. What does that say about you as a woman? It means that you're open-hearted. It means that you have no prejudice. It means that you are elevating to a point of, you know what? I want to give people a chance that I wouldn't ordinarily. This is a noble thing. This is a good thing. Okay, you gave the wrong person a chance, but did you really know that it would be the wrong person? Okay, so he lied to you. How are you going to know that he's lying to you? It's a perfect stranger who's just come off the street. Your body likes him, your eyes like him, your spirit likes him, but you don't know him. So you have to take everything he says at face value until proven otherwise. After all, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in any sensible court, right? So in that instance, are you really stupid? Is a court stupid for assuming a person is innocent before they're proven guilty? Is the judge stupid? Is the jury stupid that we presume someone innocent until there's evidence that they're guilty? Yeah. So it took you 9 months or maybe a year, maybe 2 to figure out that he was a bit of a con. You're not stupid. You are just like every single woman, and you were a woman who was prepared to show up. We need to truly give ourselves compassion. We need to reframe a lot of the hate language in our heads. We need to really have conversations with the voices in our head. We need to have conversations and say, okay, where is that coming from? And we're going to be doing some courses. I'm going to be doing some courses in the academy that are going to really help us continue to grow in emotional mastery. This new membership that I'm creating for you ladies is going to be hardcore. We're just going to dig deep. We're just going to keep burrowing down to some of these concepts and really addressing the issue of our shadow, the issue of the judge in our head. We're really going to start to look at deeper concepts and deep dive into them, because I want you to show yourself compassion. Because when you show yourself compassion, that is the beginning of self-love. I want you to speak to yourself the way you would a person that you love. I want you to deal with yourself, even if, you think of it this way. If your best friend came crying and weeping and said, look, this is what's happened, would you turn around and say, oh, you're stupid, you're an absolute idiot, I told you? Is that what you would say? If your sister or a dear loved one came and told you that they'd done this or this had happened to them, would you call them an idiot? Would that be the first thing? Or would you reassure them that they're a good woman and that they deserve good things, and that, they just didn't know? They had no way of knowing that he was a fraud. They had no way of knowing that everything that he was saying was a lie. They are not a lie detective. They don't spend time chasing people who are liars. They don't know how to read How are we all supposed to tell when we're being deceived? Unless you're a professional, you do that for a living, you're never going to know. You would reassure them. You would reframe that for them. And that's what we're going to be working on in the academy moving forward. We're going to be doing some work. It won't happen on this channel. It's going to be happening within the academy. But we're going to be doing some real deep dive work to really unpack these voices, because these voices are giving a shielding your energy signal. One part of you wants love and connection. One part of you wants to really be connected and truly loved. But the other part of you, the part of you that doesn't like herself, the part of you that's mean to yourself, the part that has zero compassion for self, will continually usually overwhelm that desire to be. And so we will begin to attract men into our lives that are going to be more congruent with that voice. Men who will judge us, men who will call us names, men who will treat us like the trash we think we are, the trash we feel we are. Because unless you love you, you're only going to attract people that are going to love you the way you love you, truly love you. So we want to work through this. And I want you to take this video to mind and say, you know what? I am going to practice self-compassion. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. We're going to talk about self-compassion within the context of emotional mastery. How does it look like? What would my life look like? What would my day look like if I loved me the way that I love other people? What would my existence be like? What would the garden of my life look like if I showed myself a bit of understanding, a bit of compassion, gave myself a little bit of patience, didn't judge myself so much, didn't get so hard on myself, and actually started to educate myself, skill myself, learn more, so that I don't keep putting myself in those situations. But if I do, when I do, hey, I know that I'm the kind of woman that can absolutely recover from it. I'm the kind of woman that can bounce back. I'm the kind of woman with enough resilience to make any kind of mistake and still love myself at the end of the day. Black Swan, if you want to attract the love that I know you crave and the love I know you absolutely deserve, I really want you to really consider taking a self-compassion journey. It will change your life. And of course, feel free to book a discovery call with any of my coaches or myself at the Black Swan Relationship Academy to explore this for yourself and begin the healing work. In the meantime, my darling, I look forward to seeing you soon. And in the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots. Bye-bye.